where you've been, what you've done, and what you have done to you. You are the part of the journey that God knew you were going to be on. How do we make obedience our standard? Number one, learn to love what God loves and despise what God despises. I'm just going to run through this right quick. 1 Samuel 15, verse 9. Saul and the people spared Agag, the best of the sheep, the best of the oxen, the fatling of the lambs, and all that was good, and were unwilling to utterly destroy them. But everything despised and worthless, that they utterly destroyed. Learn to love what God loves and learn to despise what He despises. Stop trying to think and determine what you think is best and good and what is despised and worthless, and start to just listen to God and hear what He calls best and good and what He says is despised and worthless. Number two, take responsibility for your actions. Verse 20 and 21, when Saul tells Samuel, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord and gone on a mission. Look, I went on the mission. I did everything that you said to me. And I brought back Agag, king of Amalekites, which God didn't say. And I've utterly destroyed the Amalekites, but the people. Take responsibility for you. It ain't the devil's fault that you can't follow the ways of God. The greater is He who's in me than he who's in the world. Stop using the devil as an excuse for why you can't obey God. Number three, stop being a people pleaser. This is related to number two. Stop being a people pleaser. Verse 24, then Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and your word, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Notice that he was fearing the people that he was called to lead. Number four, this is a biggie. This one's going to challenge our hyper grace, like lovey-dovey church sense. Realize that sometimes I'm sorry is too late when it comes to destiny decisions. I'm not talking about salvation. I'm talking about destiny. Destiny is not a guarantee. It's a possibility if you let God. But it's not inevitable. If that was true, every person on this earth would die reaching their destiny. But the truth of the matter is, most people don't. In verse 25 it says, Saul says, now therefore please pardon my sin and return with me, that I may worship the Lord. But Samuel said to Saul, I will not return with you, for you have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you, not as a person, not as someone Jesus would die for. Jesus died for Saul too. The Lord has rejected you from being king over Israel. Obedience matters. Don't come here and then think that you can come to the altar, pray for God to unlock your destiny, and then walk out of here and disobey God. Destiny decisions are so important. And then finally, the last one. Know God. You have to know Him. Paul in Philippians 3 says, all these things that I've gained are now lost compared to the knowledge of Jesus Christ. And he goes on to say, I want to know Him, the power of His resurrection, and the fellowship of His suffering, being conformed to His death. I want to know Him. Everything that I thought was wisdom, everything that I thought was worth chasing, I now realize it is Christ. It's in Him. I believe that God doesn't just want you to know Him so you don't perish or you don't go to hell. He wants you to know Him because He wants to give you His world in your life. His destiny for you. He wants you to realize that.